So the Xbox Series X is a console that has had its fair share of shortcomings and continues to do so, especially when it comes to physical games. But it does also have some of its strengths. So limited edition controllers, the availability and cheapness of some of its third-party game offerings, and then just the flexibility of the platform to be able to play some of its digital games anywhere. So between your PC, console, in the cloud, whatever it may be. My physical game collection for Xbox One and Series X is smaller than my PlayStation or my Switch collection, for example, but it is still pretty decent sized, about 60 plus games or so. So kind of wanted to share that today and go over what the current status of that is in 2026. Starting off here, we do have Ad Infinitum, which is currently in my Xbox. I'm playing through this right now. This is a horror game, and I've been enjoying what I have played of it so far. Again, a game that I picked up simply because it was cheapest on the Series X. I know it's available elsewhere, but that is where I find myself gravitating towards a lot of these third-party games. Next up, we have Alone in the Dark. Still sealed, have not gotten a chance to dive too deeply into this one as of yet. Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? This was solely a pickup due to the fact that I needed to meet a shipping minimum on Video Games Plus. I think this was like literally $3.50 or $4 at the time. I'm sure I will play this at some point. I unabashedly love Are You Smarter Than a Millionaire games, and this has a very similar vein to it. So I'm sure I will get around to it at some point here. Next up, we have Avowed, and this is the premium edition. A premium edition without a game. So obviously it comes with this nice slipcover, this steelbook case, some DLC goodies, as well as some physical goodies like a cloth map and all of that. But no actual disc, if you can tell. So I don't really understand the point of doing that. I'm happy to see that it comes with all these other physical trinkets and stuff, but why release this as a steelbook without an actual disc? It's just kind of frustrating to see, and this is kind of par for the course for Xbox releases, and the ones that are, PlayStation exclusive or Xbox exclusive first, and then they get ported to PlayStation, whatever it may be. Maybe we'll get a release on PlayStation that actually has a disc. Maybe we won't, like we saw with the Forza franchise, but this is just frustrating to see, and kind of the reason I stray away from it. Now, this was $90 at launch. I got this for $40 with all the DLC, so I don't feel too bad about it. But it's just kind of disappointing to see. I would much prefer to have a physical disc with the full game on it. Next up, we have Baja Edge of Control HD, which is a HD remaster of a PS3 and 360 racer, and a really good one at that. We have Bully Scholarship Edition, which begins our trend of very differing Xbox One 360 case redesigns for re-releases on this system. You'll see over the course of this video so many different banners at the top, so many different banners indicating what it plays on, and whether it's Xbox One, Xbox 360, Xbox Series X only, backwards compatible. There's so many different ways it's notated on the spine, on the top of the case. It's just all over the place. But Bully Scholarship Edition, that's one way that they use it. Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Core Keeper, which I have still sealed here. Cyberpunk 2027, and this is the Ultimate Edition that includes Phantom Liberty. This is, as far as I am aware, aside from the Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition, if you ordered that, the only version or the only game on Xbox Series X that has more than 2 discs. So this has 3 discs, actually. So 2 are on this left side, and then 1 is just kind of stored in the sleeve, which is a very similar thing that Baldur's Gate had to do for Baldur's Gate 3's Deluxe Edition on the console. But this has all of the content on the disc, unlike the PlayStation version that has all of the base game on the disc, but Phantom Liberty is a download code. So this is the most complete version that you could get on a disc-based console. Now you can get the Switch version as well, that contains a lot of the content, but this was really nice to get at the time that it launched, and really happy to have a copy of this complete on disc. Next up, we have a sealed copy of Darkest Dungeon 2. We have Darksiders Genesis. Deus Ex Mankind Divided. This is the Day 1 edition. Now, this is a used copy that I ended up getting from GameStop a few years ago, but I had this at launch with a PS4 version that was the collector's edition way back in the day with like a crazy statue, and it had this weird triangle case for it and everything. Played a few hours of this game, really enjoyed it. They don't make simulation style shooters like this much anymore, but haven't gotten all the way through it. I do want to get back to this one day, so happy to have it in the collection for that opportunity. We have Dynasty Warriors 9 here. Earthfall, which is just a extremely mediocre co-op first-person shooter. Far Cry Primal, continuing the trend of mediocre first-person shooters. Not my favorite Far Cry by a long shot. Forza. I don't even know what I just said. Forza Motorsport 6. So sad to see that the Forza Motorsport series is gone. I obviously love the Forza franchise, and Forza Horizon is great. It was my introduction to the series, but so sad that Turn 10 and Forza Motorsport is no longer a thing. We have a copy of Gears 4 and Gears 5 here as well. Starting our second stack, Goat Simulator 3, which is so funny to me because they had the original Goat Simulator, they skipped over 2 and they went straight to 3, and now I think they're remastering 1, so I don't know what that's all about. Halo 5, which is the only Xbox One console exclusive Halo that ever was released. Everything else is also available on PC. We have Journey to the Savage Planet, Just Cause 3, Loop 8, which is kind of a unique one. I do have a bigger box version of this. This is just the base game that comes with it, which is kind of like it's like a dating sim almost, but it's a weird kind of roguelike. It's a weird combination of things. It's a visual novel, it's a dating sim, it's an RPG. Excited to play this sometime soon. I've heard mixed things on it, but I got it in my collection specifically because of all of the weirdness around it. Heard good things. I've heard some, not so great things about it, but excited to dive into that one someday soon. Metaphor Refantasio, which I have played about 5 or 6 hours of, basically through the initial demo of this game. Really enjoyed my time with it thus far. Just did not have enough time to really power through this when it first came out, simply because of how dense it was and other stuff that was out. Plan on making my way through this sometime soon, but it's down on the list in terms of Atlas games I have to get around and play, and probably by the time I get around to playing it, it'll have some kind of DLC enhanced version that I'll want to buy anyway, knowing how Atlas works. Need for Speed Unbound. This is a GameStop new copy where they just decided to seal a used copy up that was their last store copy. I've actually played the heck out of this on both PlayStation and Xbox, but this was $6 one day at GameStop new. Again, GameStop new. So wanted to pick it up while I could so I could get a physical copy of it, and happy to have that here as well. Tokyo 2020 Olympics, again, another game that I just needed to meet a VGP order minimum. Overcooked All You Can Eat Edition, which includes both Overcooked 1 and 2, and then all the DLC with it. Persona 3 Reload. This is my favorite game that I own on the Xbox Series X. This is my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time. Probably top 3 at this point. This game just does so much well, and I plan on making a video on this at some point, but I can't say enough great things about the way the gameplay is, the story, the music integration, the soundtrack. Everything about this game just gelled so well for me. I do have the big Aegis collector's edition for this. At the time that I bought it, it was the same price, if not cheaper, than just getting the base game, which was $60 or $70 at launch. And yeah, I mean, I can't say enough great things about this. If you have not gotten a chance to play Persona 3 Reload, please play it on whatever system you have. It's absolutely incredible. Project Cars 3, which is now delisted, so the only way that you can play it is via a physical copy. Quantum Break is an Xbox One console exclusive game that I originally tried playing on PC, and it kind of broke my PC at the time. I think back in like 2016 or 2017. Like it just would not run. So I put that off for a time and then picked this up at GameStop, I think for like $4 or $5. Still not have gotten around to it, but I know it's kind of a short little romp with some, TV show elements in it. So I do plan on getting back to it at a certain point because I know it's a Remedy project, so definitely something I want to play. Rare Replay, which I feel like is just kind of an essential and a pretty cheap game to own on Xbox One. You can pick them up all the time for like $5. Redfall, definitely not an essential pickup on Xbox Series X, and in Xbox opinion, Arcane Austin wasn't an essential studio to keep around, which really stinks. I'm really upset that this is what did in that studio. I really don't think this should have been the last thing that we saw out of Arcane Austin. And this was just not a fun game overall. I got this game for, I think, $10 at Best Buy a few months after it came out because of how badly it had bombed. But it's there. Riders Republic, which is actually a pretty good, fun, racing and kind of extreme sports game. Shadows Awakening is a game that I didn't know much about. I had a buy two, get one free coupon at GameStop, and this fit the bill for a couple of games that I was buying. This plays a little bit like a Diablo, kind of an action RPG game. It's fun what I've played of it so far. Only played 2 or 3 hours of it, but had a good time thus far. I think I will get around to it one day when I just want to pick something random up off the shelf again. Sniper Elite 3, and then I also have Sniper Elite Resistance. Sniper Elite 3 is from the collector's edition that I have. It came with an ammo box tin. There's a bullet pen. There's a deck of cards that has like a bunch of the enemies from World War II, like the major leaders. Sniper Elite Resistance, obviously still sealed. I haven't had a chance to play that as of yet, but I got that on clearance for like $20, and it's the deluxe edition, so it includes all the DLC. I really enjoy the Sniper Elite series and the Zombie Army trilogy series. I just have to be in the right headspace and mood to kind of play those. Space-Based Startopia. I originally had this on Switch. Did not run well at all on Switch. Saw it for like $2 at GameStop. Got it on Xbox. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. I do have a larger collector's edition for this that came with like a statue of SpongeBob and his socks and random things like that. I was able to get it for like $20 on clearance at Best Buy, but have not gotten around to playing this version on Xbox, I believe, because I own this on PC. Squirrel with a Gun was a very random pickup, but I do want to get around to playing this sometime soon because, again, it's just so crazy and random. Stalker 2 was extremely disappointing when this released because the game is not anywhere close to being on disc. I think there's literally less than a gigabyte on this actual disc. So this is basically going to be e-waste in a few years when this game is no longer viable or running. So that was really upsetting. So I plan on playing through this at some point. Also, the case came in like cracked like crazy. So thanks, Amazon. I plan on, playing through this and probably selling this copy just because it doesn't really have the full game on it. Similar to Starfield. I don't believe Starfield has the full game on it. I know it has more than a gigabyte that Stalker 2 has, but really not great to see that from Xbox's first party offerings or any offerings at all. But especially your first party, you want to see that on the disc. And then we just get the Avowed treatment where there's nothing there. Star Ocean, The Divine Force. Have not gotten a chance to play this one as of yet, but I don't really know a ton about this Star Ocean game, so I am kind of excited to dive into this one sometime soon. State of Decay, Year 1 Survival Edition, and State of Decay 2. I have played, love both of these games. My wife loves both of these games. Really excited for State of Decay 3, whenever that decides to show its face again. I'm hopeful that'll be at some point either this year or early next year, but really, really love both of these games. Steep, just adding to the extreme sports games that we have here. Again, just one of the cheapest ways to get them was on the Xbox, and enjoy having them as part of the collection here. Technomancer, I think, was literally a $2 or $3 GameStop pickup. Have not played this as of yet, but I haven't heard amazing things about it, so I don't know how high on the priority list that'll be in the near future. Ghost Recon Wildlands and then The Division 2 are two of my favorite Tom Clancy games. I don't think they're absolutely essential plays, but I also hope that we get The Division 3 or some version of that soon, since, you know, Destiny 3 is really kind of fallen by the wayside in terms of that kind of genre. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. This is the Xbox One version. We have Trials Fusion and then Trials Rising, and this is the gold edition that included all the DLC with it. Love the Trials games. I will always pick up a Trials game whenever it comes out. They're kind of just stupid, puzzly, racing fun, but really, really, really enjoy them. If you haven't played a Trials game before and you enjoy racing games or, you know, kind of just puzzle and maneuvering games, absolutely, absolutely a racket of a time. Under the Waves is a unique one. Now, I believe this is published, yes, by Quantic Dream, which is responsible for a lot of PlayStation exclusive story-based games. But this was really unique when I got this game on clearance at Best Buy. It came with stickers, the full game on disc, and this really cool and unique art book, which I almost never see for Xbox. So the fact that it just came with all that stuff and it was only like, I think $18 or something, was really, really unique to see. So this is one I want to get around to soon. I've heard it's a pretty decent story as well. This is not a decent story. This is a game that I kind of got as a joke because it was like $8 and I had heard such horrible things about the writing and kind of the way that the dialogue was produced. I'll probably play this at some point and then immediately toss it and bin it. You know, once I have a little bit, well, not bin it, but, you know, sell it on eBay or something. But really, this is kind of a joke purchase. Valkyria Revolution and then Valkyria Chronicles 4. Both of these were VGP pickups, mainly to hit the shipping minimum, but I also really want to play both of these games. I've heard great things about them. Next up, we have Way of the Hunter, Wild Expeditions, which I believe was a Woot pickup randomly because it was very, very cheap. This is not something I would normally go after, but I've heard decent things about it. Could be a fun little romp. It's good to play things that you don't normally play or you wouldn't normally gravitate to. Wolfenstein, The New Order, and Wolfenstein 2 is absolutely something I would gravitate to. These are fantastic first-person shooters. If you haven't played them before, absolutely would recommend doing so. Just this week, Wolfenstein 3 was kind of leaked or hinted at, so I'm hopeful that we get that sometime soon. These are fantastic games. Absolutely play these if you haven't. World of Final Fantasy Maxima, still sealed. Haven't got a chance to play that one as of yet. World War Z Aftermath. I have played a lot of this. This has both a first and a third-person mode, and the engine they used for this was used to help develop Space Marine 40K2. And that has been amazing to play through. The zombie tech in this is really interesting. Just the amount of enemies they have on screen, the way that they kind of move around the environment is really, really interesting. I think this game does it better than almost any other zombie shooter does in that sense. So if you haven't played this, I absolutely, absolutely would recommend it. And then rounding out the regular games that we have here, we have XCOM 2 Collection, which comes with all of the DLC packs. And then one final title here, one final big box, we have Potionomics Masterwork Edition. So that is the end of my Xbox games. Again, a small but mighty collection, a lot of random stuff in there, not a ton of first party. So, you know, we have some, you know, bigger hitters, quote unquote, with Starfield and Stalker 2. I imagine most of these will be making their way over to PlayStation if they're not already. Stalker 2 already is. Starfield has not been announced for it yet, but, you know, some others that we showed already. Avowed has already made its way over. I imagine the Gears franchise, beyond just the first remaster, will make its way over soon. We're going to see Forza day and date probably at some point. So, you know, it's becoming less of a necessary need to own an Xbox, but definitely something I enjoy, especially for these games being found at a cheaper price, as well as the previous gen, the Xbox 360 and the original Xbox being backwards compatible and playing in the best possible way. But I appreciate you watching. Let me know if you still have an Xbox Series X, if you've sold yours, if you didn't even consider picking one up. Would love to hear your comments down below. And also let me know about what else you would like to see on the channel soon. I'm planning on doing a few more of these collection videos because because I do have quite a few games in the collection here. 360, PS3 we still have to go through, as well as some older and random stuff like the Wii. But we'll see. I'm happy to do whatever the channel and subscribers of this channel are open to. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.